Well, hello there, everybody, and welcome to Chatting with Charles. I have with me my special guest, Herb of Fireside Studios. Welcome in, Herb.
Thank you, Charles. Glad to be here. Appreciate the invite.
Oh, it was a no-brainer. Had to have Herb on early in the series because there has been no bigger supporter of the series and of Guitar Safari than Herb of Fireside Studios.
Oh, it's my
Always
pleasure.
the first one in the chat. What can I say?
You got to be first in the chat to get a good seat, right?
There you go. Got it. So let's go ahead and welcome in our folks in the chat, and then we're going to dig into finding about Herb and his guitar journey. So welcome in Dave Chase, Martin from L&M Guitar Corner, our music-in-law Ryan Hall, Keith H., who is here. Bonkers is in the chat. Patrick Tripes. Octopus Sears, welcome in. Good morning to you, Symmetry. Trev, how are you this morning, buddy? And that is and Ben Coombs is in the chat as well. Welcome in, Ben. Good morning to you. And Wayne McConnell, welcome in. So, I'm excited about this show. Hit Metalworks just popped in as well. And so we are caught up on the chat. Herb, one of the most things I find really interesting is, how people got started in guitar, right? How did their guitar journey start? So what was it for you? How did that process start for you?
Oh, wow. Let's go back to, I'm going to tell my age, 1970, whenever Kiss Alive 1 come out. Mm-hmm. I guess it was probably when it was. Friend of mine, I was roughly, 9 years old when it came out. Friend brings Alive 1 to school. During recess, we're allowed to play records in the back of the teacher's classroom, and he brings this new thing I've never seen before. And wow, who are these guys? It's like a comic book, Comic book people have come to life, and that was big for me. And I was hooked. At that point, I was hooked. Then as we progressed through time and the 80s hit, with all the glam and the hair metal, it's like, oh gosh, I've got to be a part of that. That's so cool. I need to learn to play guitar. So that's where it started with me.
So in the 80s is when you really started picking it up. So how old were you then, roughly?
Let's see, 11, 12, 13, 14 in 1980. Yeah, 14 in 1980. I graduated 84, so at 18 then. So that's right, yeah.
Excellent. So I want to welcome in Janice Lala and Blackjack Guitar in Internationally Insane Studios. Internationally Insane Studios, I've got something that I need to send you. If you would email me your address, that would be great. All right, so that's fascinating. So what was the first guitar then? And folks, if you want to ask Herb a question, just go ahead and get it in the chat, and we'll get that answered during the course of our show. Welcome in, Bo. I'm sorry, Herb. Go ahead.
Hey, no problem. The first guitar, probably a music store, $200 music store special. Wasn't worth much. Something to beat and bang around on, but to me, it was the real deal. You thought you were king, or at least in your own mind you were.
And so you did the whole, you got involved with the whole Kiss thing.
Yeah.
And what was that the first music you tried to play? Where kind of did the journey go from there?
Yeah. You learned some of the simpler things. Nowhere near a musician by trade. I just played one on YouTube. But yeah, you learn some of the simple riffs of Ace Frehley and some of the simpler songs. I think one of the first songs I picked up was Detroit Rock City.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, it's always amazing to me because I guess even though for me my journey is a little bit different, right? Because I started out as a clarinet player, bass, clarinet, all the saxophones. That was my growing up, right? And when I hit my teen years, I asked for a guitar one Christmas and I got one, but no lessons to go with it. And so it kind of, and the guitar was, again, it was one of those really inexpensive ones your parents get you because they want to see if you're going to carry through. And for me, learning instruments was pretty easy, but string instruments for me were hard. I could figure out anything with keys and a fingering chart. I could figure out a piano, right? But I couldn't. The guitar and stringed instruments just mystify me.
It's all them darn strings on there, you know. Mine was guitar for the practicing musician. I'm sure some people in the chat can remember that. That was how I started. They list out the tablature. I learned to read tablature. Oh, this is how you play Gypsy Rose or whatever that week's, or I can't remember, a monthly subscription or if it was weekly. Maybe monthly. It's whatever they had tabbed out for you. Not that they were always right, but you're like, oh yes, it's George Lynch. Let's get this issue.
And so, did you hang out with other guys that played guitar as well? Was that part of that journey in the beginning?
For me, no, not really. You had a few guitar playing friends, and that were steps above me. And I'd always ask for help, and it's like, oh yeah, here, let me show you this, and they'd show me one little thing, and that would be it. It's like you had to beg them and try to drag information out. So a lot of my journey was on my own. I didn't have the patience to sit like some people did with the record player and take that needle and put it back and put it back.
Yeah. Not me. That's not me. So Ben Coombs has a question for you. He says he wants to know what your first Kramer was.
My first Kramer, you can see here. And the story behind this, which everybody knows Kramer was big in the 80s. For several years in a row, Kramer was number one selling. And it was, I'm sure, because of glam metal, hair metal, however you want to classify it. At that time, I didn't have the money to buy something of that nature, up until later on in life, whenever I'm married and have my own income. Oh, yeah, I can buy it now. But then, by that time, Kramer's really non-existent. And what you see out there, I'm thinking, I don't know if, like we spoke before in the green room, I don't, I'm frugal. I don't want to just spend the money and get a piece of junk.
Right.
And all the horror stories I saw coming across in the Kramer, so I don't really want to. No, I can't see spending that kind of money. And so I retired from coaching football 4 years ago. And as a Christmas retirement gift, I said, let's go ahead and take this step. I saw Gibson had dusted off the brand, and I thought, well, if Gibson's remaking Kramer, surely they're decent instruments. Now, when I got that, oh my gosh, it was, you can ask my wife, I was gut wrenched because it was, I think at the time, $1,200, which I got a deal from Sweetwater on it, but I had a hard time letting go of that kind of money. I have got some ESPs over here. I paid $400 or $500 for it, soup them up, better pickups and so forth. But as far as spending something of that nature, no, I didn't have it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I bought my Univox and I paid something, a little over $400 for it.
Yeah.
And I thought that, for me, that's a lot, right? It's, I could save up. I could get a $2,000 guitar. I could put the money away and do that.
Yeah.
But for my mind, it's like, that's just a lot of money, right?
A lot of money.
I could get that. Yeah. We got a couple more folks in the chat. We've got Rico B that has made his way in. Welcome in. That tablature you're talking about, that was monthly, Ben says.
Yeah, I saw that.
Martian Murray is in the chat, and Michael B. Live has come in as well. Charles Green, good morning in. Bruce, good morning in. I'm glad you folks have made your way in. So, like I said, as we go through, if there are any questions that you have of Herb that you want to ask, go ahead. Because otherwise, I'll keep asking all mine and getting all nosy and into stuff. So with the Orange Kramer, it was the first one. So when you got it, was it everything you were hoping it would be?
I've watched YouTube for several years now and trying to dive into a little more here and a little more there on certain things. And that's been my greatest teacher, has been YouTube. And I've heard so many people talk and say, when I got this guitar in my hands, it just felt right. Mm-hmm. Well, it felt, all these guitars in the past just felt like a block of wood. It's okay, it's a guitar. I don't get it. when I put that one in my hands, it just, the feel of it. I mean, I knew I was getting a piece of history and a little bit of nostalgia. And that may have played a role, but it just felt right. And checked it. It was in tune, strummed an A, and wow, it just almost felt like it played itself. So,
nice.
I was sold, and I understood why people, are harping on, okay, let's get a Fender 1974, whatever it may be, or people, how they go gaga over the LPs. I get it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a few different ones.
The funny thing is, I've had that experience a couple times with a few of mine. And again, like I said, that Univox, I had no idea that I was going to buy it.
All right.
But when I did pick it up, when I did start playing on it, the way the neck felt, the way the pickup sounded, it was coming home with me. Right. And I literally have another guitar that is almost identical to it. Right. In terms of color, look, same hollow body. But yeah, that it has a feel. And it has a feel that none of my other guitars have.
Well, honestly, some of these cheaper Kramers, you see this Beretta Special here, and I don't believe you can see the purple one.
Well, hold on, we got to solo you out a little bit here. Here you go.
You can see the blue one. And these Beretta Specials, honestly, they play better. Well, I won't say better than the SM1. They play just as well as the SM1. Now, they are cheaper guitars. Mm-hmm. And obviously not the quality of that one or the Berettas on this side. But they're great little guitars.
Well, Bo had been had put in the chat, and I had put the comment up there that it seems like you got every color of Kramer covered. and for those of you that, if you haven't seen Herb's Hollow Flash Kramer, oh my gosh, that is just beauty. And I really appreciate that you let me in on the ground floor of that as you were going through it.
You're welcome.
Really introducing me to Hollow Flash, because I'd never even heard of it before. Yeah,
I hadn't either till about 6-7 years ago. I was always a Danger fan, but I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to the guitar. Andy Timmons was playing. I was watching the girl dance. Come on. Mm-hmm. And then when I finally realized, what's he holding in his hands? Well, that's a Kramer. And then, whoa, it's shiny. And then figured out and found out about the Hollow Flash. I think I asked him one of Ben's shows, somebody that had either worked with Kramer or knew more about it. I don't know if Ben remembers that or not.
There you go. Yeah, well,
the thing with you bringing up about those guitars and that Hollow Flash, one of the things, if you listened to Steve from Boston last night, one of the things he talked about was kind of the upper tiers, or maybe this was Tone King, I can't remember which one. That Hollow Flash was made in China, and it does not play and does not feel anything like the others. It's amazing to me how one company can make a guitar and take the exact same specs to another company, and this is not a Kramer.
Yeah. Do you have that Hollow Flash handy? You have it within reach?
I do.
Because I mean, your work on this was incredible.
I thought my wife's acting job on that was what was incredible.
We're gonna get to your wife in your videos, because it makes my day. That is beautiful, and it was. I still do want to try to do one of those eventually, and so thank you for sharing that process.
You're welcome.
We've got a couple more folks that have come into the chat. Let's see. I know that we have Ryan OU812 is in the channel. Johnny Bean is in the chat. Welcome in. And I think I've got everybody now. I think we're good.
Ben's got a statement there or a comment. And yes, Ben, as far as I need an animal print, I agree with you 100%. And I was going to talk to Charles about it sometime, but it seemed like he's been so busy doing so many others that I thought I'll give him a little bit of a break before I approach him.
Well, like you said, it's best to get on the schedule, right? It's best to get on the schedule.
And what better than one of those I'm sorry. Well, better than one of these Beretta specials. You know, they're cheap. If you mess one up, so be it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I'm doing Charles Green's guitar now, and I'm getting really close to to spraying clear on that. Mm-hmm. And after that, right now, the only thing that is in the hopper are personal projects. So
what drew you to the? I'm gonna turn the tables on you, friend. What drew you to the fabric topping?
Well, the fabric topping really was I had gotten the. I had bought this.
Hey, Ryan.
This Epiphone Junior, right?
I've seen that.
I had gotten this. I had bought this just for the neck because I had gotten this guitar, this SG, off of won it on Scar My Guitars channel, right? Mm-hmm. And when it arrived, the post office had broken the neck. Oh. And so, so I was like, okay. And went through like a year worth of back and forth with the post office, and they never paid for it. But so I bought this really cheap for, I want to say like $40. And, and I bought it for the neck, but, wasn't thinking that the neck pockets, I figured, okay, Epiphone neck pocket should be the same, but it's the SG pocket is different. Okay, learning curve, right? So, right. So I was in Ben Coombs' chat on one of his shows, probably the Monday night show, and we were going back and forth. Says, hey, I got this guitar, and I don't know what to do with it. It needs a refin. Should I paint it, or should I fabric top it? Because I had heard him say something about fabric topping before, and I was like, fabric on a guitar, that sounds pretty cool. And he was like, well, fabric top it because there aren't enough fabric tops out there in the world. And so I ended up fabric topping it. I made a video on it and ended up on one of Ben's hangs and was showing it off. And then our buddy Unfucking Believable was in the chat and watching it. And he was getting ready to send him, of all things, a Kramer Beretta special.
Right.
Pieces, and the idea was we were all going to enjoy watching Ben try to put together this guitar that was just sent to him piece by piece in Ziploc bags, and so Unbelievable saw me on the show sharing the guitar, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to send Charles the body to fabric top, and I'm going to send you everything else. And I was like, okay. And then I get really nervous because, to me, Ben's a big channel. Right.
Oh, yes.
And I had only made a video just to show. I had only started my channel to show the damage on the SG.
Right.
And then I made a video of doing the LP Junior. And so Unbelievable. So he sent me the body. And was like, I need to get another one on my belt. So I did the Strat there.
All right.
And so I did that one, and then I did Ben's, and I had problem after problem after problem with Ben's, and that's really how I got down that road. But that's too much about me. It's too much.
That's probably about the time when I started to put myself out more into these chats, into this community. It was around that time you did. So Ben, it is your fault. I saw your comment. It is your fault. Well, you do great work, and it's phenomenal. And which I ventured out and found the Texas Toast guys, and they do great work as well. Because I'd never heard of fabric topping at that time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'd never heard of it.
I had seen a couple, and I had seen a couple growing up, here and there, and to me, they always looked like the guy had just done it in his garage because he didn't like the paint on his guitar, right? And it was like the top and the bottom, and they just painted the sides black because that was what was easy to do. And so when I started the first one, that's what I did. And then when I did the second one, I was, I wonder if I could put the fabric over the sides and find a way to do that and do a full wrap. And because I'd never seen anyone do it, so I was like, let me go ahead and try.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Well, the problem I've had with these and the Hollow Flash is I think someone on Ben's channel It said they were a wrap, and I've never found that. One information I found on YouTube with them, they were iron-on, and it was so hard to find the material. If you found it on eBay, you better grab it, because within a week it was gone. I think Etsy may have some listed. I think from this guitar, I bought it from Etsy actually.
Yeah,
they have gold foil. And they have
Etsy link when you sent it to me.
Pardon?
When you sent me the link for Hollow Flash, it was an Etsy link.
It was an Etsy link, yeah. So it's hard to find. I would love to find the wrap. That would be awesome.
No, Ben didn't ask me about a commission. Want to welcome in Gear Junkie 35. Welcome in, my friend. Welcome in, and welcome back in, Martin. Oh yeah. So problem after problem sounds like my day on the 335 kit. Yep. Yeah. It's when you do your own stuff, it can be both a joy and it can be that thing that makes you pull your hair out a little bit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, as far as my journey goes, Charles, with all this, it's really not sprouted until the last few years. After retiring from football, I had more time. I'm sure Ben got aggravated with me pretty regular at the start of all this. I started trolling people on Facebook. Hey, I know that guy. Add him as friend, and his mistake was to add me back. Yeah. But I'd send him a message every once in a while asking him questions to help me get started with all of this. I'm sure I kind of aggravated him. If I did, Ben, I'm sorry.
Well, the thing is, we all get excited, right? We there's something that we love and we get excited about it. And sometimes when you're that excited, you lose kind of sight of, how maybe aggressive you're being or how you're coming off, or you forget everybody else has got their own thing going too. And I know I've been the same way here and there. So yeah. All right. So now you retired and you got the other one, and you've got this incredible channel. One of my absolute favorite things on your channel is when you do the videos with your wife, and I absolutely love those. And she is convincing. I mean, she's convincing in the role, but every once in a while you catch the half smile on her face, right?
Yeah.
And she is enjoying it. So how did that idea come up? And tell me a little bit more about you and your wife working those.
Wild hair. I mean, if you get where I'm going with it, just the wild hair. I thought, this would be good to have some kind of throw a little comedy in it, Be yourself, be funny. People like it a lot better. And I don't know how, but she turned it into the Mama's Family theme. If you remember the old show, Mama's Family, on that particular video. And for the people that've seen it or go back and watch it here, she does not drink. She grabs the bottle of Jim Beam. It's not hers.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's over here. But it just came to me. I thought, hey, let's just try this, see how it works out. I said, just take every jab you want, just have at it. And she did. She did.
How much of that is scripted and how much is she just coming like off the cuff with it?
We talked about it maybe for 10 minutes about how we wanted it to play. She said, I know what we're going to do. Don't worry. I got it. And we just took off with it. We played off each other. We've been married for 34 years. 30, yeah. May of 18 or June. Shoot. She's in the room saying, can't you even tell when we're married, dummy? July of 89. So we've been married a long time. So once you get married for so long, you start to know what each is going to say and think and so forth. But yeah, mainly we just off of her.
Excellent. I'm going to say hi to Charles Green in the chat, buddy. We are having a good time with your guitar. I just want you to know that. I'm wondering how long I'm going to have to hold on to it after I'm done with it and just admire it. And so I figure maybe next year, Charles, is that going to work for you? That ought to get a reaction.
Yeah, if possible. I love Charles's stories. Oh my gosh, when he's on Ben's channel on Sundays, it's great to hear his story.
that really is the great thing about this community that's come out of Ben Coombs' channel, right?
Yeah.
It is a really tight-knit bunch of folks. We tend to follow each other around all the channels. Everybody says hello, and if you tend to know that if someone's messing with you, it's all out of love, right?
It's all out of love, yes.
And so really appreciate all these guys. A couple things to note, and I will put this link a little bit later in chat, but Michael B. Live, who's in the chat, is the guest on Music Therapy Laz's show right after us. And so we'll give you the link to go ahead and go over there. And Ryan OU812 has a show later today that is going to be simply awesome, I am sure. So we'll put his link in the chat as well. And of course, Ben Coombs is going to have Rob of Tessie Switch on tonight. So another great show to watch. And if you have not been watching the builds on L&M Guitar Corner lately, folks, you are missing. So get on over there. Now, there's this other guy, Herb of Fireside Studios. He's got a channel. And if you have not checked out his channel yet, it is in the description, but I am also going to go ahead and put that in the chat now so you can check him out. If you have not checked him out yet, you are missing. These videos with his wife are really just kind of comical. And he lifts my spirits every Friday with some little rockin' short. And it's one of the ways I start my day. I'm glad. I'm at work and I'm on my computer and I'm kind of waiting for the post. And then as soon as it comes up, I hit it because it gets my day started in the right way. Talk to me about those. About those Friday little rockers there.
Well,
ones were great.
I tried to find what my niche would be. And I saw real quick, well, if I try to do gear review, I'm going to go broke and divorced at the same time. So I better find something else quick. And I always love Fridays. Friday's the best day of the week for me, which is even better now. I don't work Fridays anymore, but I had a friend would always say, you can't F up a Friday. And he was right. So I thought, well, hey, let's do something to add to that for people. People love Friday. Let's do something to where they enjoy and give a little bit more. Hey, yeah, you're right. It is Friday. Here's Herb. Hey, great. And it just sprung out of that.
Yeah. And so, but what's your kind of process on that? Do you have a plan of where you're going to go do you plan them out, or are you just kind of working it out during the week? How are you going about doing that?
Actually, no, I don't do a lot of planning. A song come on the radio. Hey, I think I can play that song. Let's learn that. And I would learn it and then use it for the Friday short. Maybe something happened like Halloween. I knew Halloween was coming up, so I wanted to plan some type of, those were more planned videos. Plan something more haunting on guitar. Christmas is around the corner. TSO, I think, actually starts their tours the 15th of this month. I go see them the 17th. So last Friday, I'll sit down and grab YouTube. But shortly after your show, I come in the studio and how to play TSO, and something pops up. Hey, look there. Let's do this. So I actually took about 30 minutes to learn the song, did the short, and it comes out next Friday. I think it's Oh Come All Ye Faithful, Silent Night. I did the intro to that. So some just that hear the song, yeah, that's a great song. And sometimes my wife say, won't you try this song? And generally it's how they come about. And then what I'll do with, I use a site called Vectasy, and it allows me to do the video, which I'm not a superb guitar player. I don't pretend to be. This is a hobby for me. This is joy. I spent a career doing something else, and this is just something that's always been on the back burner. So to get people to kind of ignore my flub ups on guitar, I'll add a little production into it.
They are creative as creative can be, and
thank you.
You're welcome. And I always look forward to what the next one is going to be and what, how it's going to go. And I know the knee was a problem before, but now you're doing your rehab, and so I am really looking forward to some more longer form content. So I hope that is in the plan for the future.
Well, some of the bigger views I've received off of the videos have been on things that I just narrated, like a documentary type. My wife actually narrated on one of those, and I had more comments than likes on that. I guess her sexy voice. I don't know. Sorry, guys, she's taken.
Oh, you guys are great. That is hilarious. But yeah, there is something I just love those videos that she's in them, and I can't get enough of them. So we're about due for one, just so you know. All right. There's a quest being made, buddy. Wayne McConnell says he's asked me if we've seen Yngwie Malmsteen play with the Japanese orchestra, and how do I feel about the scallop fretboard? I believe I've seen some of that. A scallop fretboard scares the crap out of me. It really
does me too.
And just because I tend to have, I am a super beginner, right? And I only came to guitar over COVID. And string instruments have always mystified me. But I'm making progress. I'm getting better. I'm not, I've been working with Ben on a couple things, and he's been giving me some advice. I'm working on my scales right now. But I'm getting a little bit less monkey fisted here. And so maybe there'll be a day where the scallop fretboard in the future. But what about you? I know you said you fixed your YouTube, but
what about my monkey fist? Well, it's most of my necks on my guitar kind of twists kind of this way because I'm so heavy-handed.
But so you don't see one in your future?
What's that? Scalloped? Possible. I've tried one or two, and this is where I'm so heavy-handed. It's a learning curve. Yeah, I saw his comment a minute ago. Ryan, I'll send you the X-ray picture here shortly on Facebook. But it's a scar, probably. Oh, so long.
So Martian Murray, and welcome in, Martian Murray. I don't remember if I did welcome you in before, but Martian Murray saying, Herb, since you coach football, what position did you play?
Defensive end, offensive end.
And were you, and when you were coaching, were you head coach or were you defensive coach or offensive coach? What?
I was always defensive coordinator, but I coached 30 years for about, let me try to count them up real quick on my head. 9, 13, 17 years of it, I was head coach. Oh my gosh, talk about headaches and a hassle. I loved being with the boys. It was great to be with those kids and help keep me young, but oh my gosh, no more.
Yeah, no more. There came a time with me with teaching where I felt like I was older and not as connected.
Yeah.
Right? And in order to get through, you need to have some kind of connection, right? You need to be able to be relevant to them. Ryan Hall's got a good piece of advice for you here.
Ryan Hall's completely correct. I do have a good woman, and I'm doing everything in the world to hold on to her.
And Guitar Man 45 is chiming in. Same here. He's been married for 33 years, together for 35, never changed that. And, I will say the same thing. I've been married for 32 years now. And we've been together for 34.
Well, I think a big part of all this you see here is her. When I retired from coaching, I think she said, oh, crap, he's going to be here more now. You need to play more guitar, honey. And then whenever she realized I was on the verge of retiring from teaching, I would come by and said, what do you think about me starting a YouTube channel? I think you should. She really pushed me to do it. And I think her motive behind that was saying, oh, no, his ass is going to be home more. Yes, you need to start that channel. So it's her fault in the other room.
I love that. Oh, man. So what is coming up? What is coming up on your channel? What can we expect?
Oh gosh, just more Friday shorts. I have nothing in particular planned at the moment. Like I said, I'll get an idea and I'll run with it. But for the next few weeks, I'm gonna learn more TSO and try to put some of them out for Friday for the Christmas season. I spoke with her about narrating some more documentary type things, so I may look into some of that over the next month. So, but if anybody's got some ideas of something, shoot them my way.
Yeah, if there's something you like to see Herb do, let him know. So Herb, Ryan wants to know, when are you going to come jam with the OU crew?
Ryan, gosh, I thought about it, but man, those cats can play.
That they can.
I'm a little bit nervous about that, but yeah, hey, we can set something up. Be happy to.
All right, so I'd love to see that. Love to see that. That would be great. And just because we had that conversation, make sure you folks go over and you check out Ryan and the OU2 crew later today. Their link is there in the chat. So what are some of your favorite YouTube channels? What are your kind of go-tos?
Oh gosh, well, Tone King and Steve from Boston kind of started it all out, and I saw these little wrenches all the time, and would read some of the comments and saw this cat named Ben Coombs and maybe in Steve's channel. I thought, who's this guy? And realized he had a YouTube channel, so I checked Ben out. So obviously Ben, yours, I'm always first to get a seat in yours. Love Ryan's. As far as information that I try to get for gear, as whether I should buy it or not, is Ben Eller. I'll listen to some of his stuff. Robert Baker, Andertons. I know they're trying to sell a product, but you get what's out there, and then when you see it on other people's channels, then you begin to, this may be worth it. Studio Rats. That was the reason I bought my Boss Katana. When you have what you called earlier the big names in YouTube, whenever these people are in England and they play so well, they've got to be professionals, and they do a whole series after series on the katana. I thought, well, maybe there's something about this. Maybe I should take a look at it.
I love this.
It is.
That is.
Actually, through the Studio Rats, watching a live show one day was the deciding factor for me buying my 11 rack. You would see it in several people's videos, and I'd always think, what is that piece of equipment? I keep seeing this orange thing in the background. What is it? And I would research it and check it out. And, I kind of like that. And I'd ask him a question. I said, is that an 11 rack behind you? Yes. What do you think about it? And when he said, I think his comment back to me was, it's my go-to when I'm alone. I thought,
okay,
that would be something worth me diving in deeper. So that was the reason I picked up the 11 rack.
Well, I was going to ask you about that because you brought in the 11 rack, and I was, and have you gotten that all set up the way you wanted to, or are you still fine-tuning things, or?
I got a couple of patches dialed in. The last Friday's video, I think, was entitled The Wolf's Howl, and that was just 4 chords, and I just played some lead licks over top of it. That was all off the 11 rack, which was supposed to be the JCM 800 patch. I know it's not a JCM 800 exact, but it's a decent sounding patch. The thing I don't have dialed in is my 1810C interface from PreSonus. I'm still learning it. Why I didn't use it today instead of just off the iPad was I was afraid of what kind of signal I would send to you through it, or if I'd get to work at all. So,
but yeah, I mean, it's just really kind of incredible. I think the gear kind of sneaks its way in, right?
It does.
It and it's like the next thing. I was helping Charles Green with his Focusrite Scarlett and getting it set up, and I wish I had been more helpful than I was. But I hadn't thought about getting an interface, yet, because I'm still working on my playing. I'm not there yet, but I've got it in my head that I need to get an interface, and so I think that's probably my next piece of gear.
Well, no, the reason I got an interface to begin with was not YouTube. I started writing some. I love music. Back in the '80s when hair metal came out, it was such an integral part of me, and I thought, heck, I can do this. And as I learned and progressed in my journey and ability, I just started writing some songs. And if anybody wants to go to my SoundCloud, it's Herb the Fireside Studio on SoundCloud, and there's also a couple of vocals on there. Oh God, you might want to have Life Choices as a precursor to listening to them, but some of the stuff I've wrote there. But that was the reason for the interface, is to try to start the recording, hence the Herb the Fireside Studio.
So how has Herb the Fireside Studio changed as a guitar player since coming onto YouTube?
It's made me better, due to the simple fact I don't want to put out junk. You see, I've got to compete with the bouncing titties on the shorts, so that's hard. I can't compete on that level. Yeah. So I want to play as best as possible. So I'm in here a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Play something until I get it right. I don't half-ass it. I want to get things to where people, oh, that's good. Oh, I like that. Oh, happy Friday. Well,
do you have a set practice routine, or are you just coming in and hammering stuff out, or
just come in whenever wife's feeling bad and needs to lay down? I'll come in and spend time in here. Pick the guitar up and let her rip. We put out junk every Sunday. No, Ryan, you don't. It's great to hang.
There is no junk on that channel. Yeah, there is no junk on that channel, and
no, there's not.
One of the
Did you see last week?
It was. They're incredible. I don't miss a show, and half the time that I'm watching their show, I'm out in the garage working on a guitar, and I will stop what I'm doing to put in a comment or to send a super chat or something, because they're that good,
Oh yeah, R2 got ripped off last week on, what was it? Still the Night Whitesnake. Oh my gosh, I think it was last week or the week before. It was recent.
Yeah,
phenomenal.
Both last Sunday he played, I believe, some Whitesnake as well. So I think he did both on the Thursday show and the Sunday show. I think he played it a second time on the Sunday show, if I'm right. But I will tell you, that group of folks, Ryan and Trev and John and R3 Locking Nut, they are just incredibly friendly and welcoming in, and they, and the number of channels that they shout out during their show kind of shamed me. And so that's why you see so many links in my chat to other channels now, because it's something that they do that I thought really should be done. And they paste them in the description of their channel. And then
this whole community is phenomenal,
Right. And but yeah, this whole community is like that, and they're sharing. And so I just want to I want to be part of that as well, and give back what I'm getting.
I watch so much YouTube with all this community and so many different things. My wife knows everybody by name. So, and she sits right there with me to watch. And you talk about support, she sits right there with me to watch all this.
There you go. My wife will watch something with me every once in a while. It's just not her thing. But I will tell you, in Internationally Insane Studios, I'm putting Octopus Ears' link in the chat here for you. Go ahead and check out that channel. He has got a Wednesday morning show that he's been starting to do, and he plays phenomenal. And so you'll enjoy that a whole bunch. Where was it? I lost my train of thought when I said that. I'm so sorry.
It's an age thing. I do that all the time. Go from one room to the next and got to go back to the previous room and stand for a minute and say, why am I in there? So I get it.
Well, folks, if you've got a question for Herb, it's time to put it into the chat. We got 15 minutes left. Let's make sure that we got your questions answered. Until then, I'm going to continue to ask some rather questions I definitely want to know.
Oh Lord.
Okay, so this is
Shall I go to the fridge and get a beer real quick?
you might want to reach for that bottle of gin. It could be easier. But the first thing I want to know, what really is your number one? What is your go-to guitar? What's the first thing you pick up?
Anymore, it's the yellow Kramer you see in my shorts mainly. It, like I said, I retired coaching a few years back, and at the end of last year, I retired from teaching. And when I got my first retirement check, looked at my wife and I said, "Do we need this to pay any major bills?" She said, "No." I said, "Good. I'm buying a guitar for my retirement gift." So I bought that yellow Beretta, and it plays so great and sounds great. Seymour Duncan. It's all maple body, maple neck, and it's just a wonderful guitar. So it's kind of my go-to. I'll come in and grab it quicker than anything else. And I guess if you go second from that, I'll go to the Snake Sabo Beretta, which is so much nostalgia in that. I mean, Seth loves that guitar. It's a part of the 80s, and I know it's a remake. I know that. It's not the same one Snake played by no means, but it's still a part of late 80s, early 90s. So,
exactly. And so, Internationally Insane Studios reminds us that we were talking about wives and how your wife would sit there and watches all this stuff with you. And where I was going with it is, my wife will watch a video every once in a while, as long as it's a shorter one, right? And she'll something shorter with me. And so I've kind of introduced you to different people in the community. Sometimes she's popped in when I've been on one of these community hang kind of things. But if whenever my head gets too big, I will take one of my videos and I will play it for my wife, and she will just rip it up one side and down the other. So I know, but with some really constructive, not just, not being mean, but with some really constructive criticism. Have you thought about this? You should do this, you should do that. And, and of course she doesn't understand everything that that we do and how things are really done on YouTube.
Right.
But she's got a different eye to it, right? An eye that's outside. And so it's like, okay, yeah, here's some good things. So I've gotten some really good feedback on my videos from her as well. And so some things a lot smoother thanks to her input. So.
Well, my wife's input has been great over the time as well. She's given me a lot of the ideas, that some of the stuff that's stemmed out of that, just a casual comment or a passing thought, she's come out with. But I didn't realize that some of the things you said your wife's saying, she says the same thing, and she always says, "Oh, you're doing great, you're doing great." I guess now that was her constructive criticism. She said, "Maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that." How long have you been playing guitar? Oh gosh, I think I received my first guitar when I was about 8 or 9 years old. It's an acoustic, and grandparents raised my grandparents, so she had put it in my hand, and I guess that was enough to start it. And then when, like I said, but in the 70s, Kiss started. So I think my first electric guitar was probably around 1984, somewhere through that area.
Okay.
No, I haven't been applying myself until the last few years.
Well, it's the funny thing about that to me is guitars, right? No matter how good we are, and I'm not saying I'm good because I'm not, but no matter how good a guitarist is, they always talk about they want to get better or they're not a very good guitarist, right?
Yeah, I don't feel that way at all.
And it's funny because I really enjoy your playing. In my mind, you can play.
Thank you, but I don't feel, some of the lead stuff I'll play, it's just mainly a pentatonic lick, and I'm just kind of working over that time and time again, maybe change position and come back to the same position and playing the same licks again and again. But no, I don't feel as if I'm that good guitar player, but I try. I enjoy it. I love music. I love to play, and I've been in a few bands here and there, but I just keep pushing forward. Kind of a lifetime journey.
Yeah, and that's the way that I've begun to approach it. It's a journey, right? And that's why I always end my videos with, you know, I hope you enjoy your guitar journey, and thank you with being part of mine, because that's was one of the things that hit me about it early. Is it really is a journey, and no matter where you start, you can end up wherever you have the means to take you go, wherever you really, how much ever you really want to put into it, right? And so you can get there.
Oh yeah.
So Martin, in talking about your number one, he wants to double down on it. He wants to know what your unicorn guitar is.
My fantasy guitar?
Yeah.
Is that what he means by unicorn? Oh my gosh.
Well, your fantasy guitar, or that is also used a lot for what's if you could only have one, right?
It would probably have to be the hollow flash guitar from Andy Timmons and Danger Danger. That was just so beautiful.
Yeah, that is a very nice guitar. Bo's wife buys some gear all the time, so he just flews around the house.
Bo Sweetwater Rip just flies to his house, and here it is.
Well, Munch, thank you for coming and welcome in, buddy. Oh, I hate that fighting you for the ad blockers, huh? Yeah, well, it was funny coming into the green room here. I was worried that Herb might be waiting for me, because I logged on and I was having all kinds of connectivity issues. And it seems like I only have connectivity issues on Sundays now. And so I was restarting and setting everything up. And and YouTube has just kind of been squirrely itself last couple of days, don't you think, Herb?
It has been. What I believe, a lot of people are getting the ads has been off of their phone. People's watching programs off their phone. I haven't had any problems over the live shows as far as getting ads, but most of the time I'm watching on TV or in here I'm on the computer.
Yeah. Okay, so Internationally Insane Studios is asking for the link for L&M Guitar Corner. So let me pop that in really quick here. Here you are, my friend. Yeah, but they've been blocking videos for a couple weeks now. Yeah, it's gotten really interesting, and I know some other people have been having problems with YouTube as well outside of that. And I don't know if they're messing with stuff and they're trying to fix something, or if it's just something going wrong or what. Oh yeah, it's all about the money. Yeah. Definitely about the money.
I anticipate seeing our community at some point in time, and maybe in the near future, to begin to move to another platform to where we can share our time together. It would surprise me if we don't see that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So, what can I look forward to for this Friday? I want to know subject to this video. I can't wait.
For Friday?
Yeah.
TSO. Yeah, like I said, this Friday, TSO, we go see them on the 17th. So I figured I'd try to learn that TSO song. So it's Oh Come All You Faithful, Silent Night. I've learned the intro to that and the lead lick to that. So that's what's coming out.
Excellent. All right, so
he was on Ben's channel tonight. The guy from Tessie Switch.
Yeah, Rob from Tessie Switch is going to be on Ben's, and so that is going to be a great show. It's always interesting. Interested to see what new he might have in, right, and what's going on over there.
I'm interested in that for these purple Beretta, the purple and the blue Beretta. I've considered putting a kill switch on those.
I did that with what was my number one, my Strat. I put one Tessie switch in it, and really enjoyed doing that. It was really super easy. Yeah, Rob is always a good hang, Ben, certainly. Yeah, and Blackjack Guitar, they are running commercials on live streams, which really sucks. And when they first started doing that as a live streamer, you had the choice, you could turn that on or off, and now you don't.
Yeah,
So,
now I think they're pushing it more and more to where they get those ads in there. It's nobody likes them. But now, what's the going rate now for the YouTube Premium?
I don't know. I
don't
just
either.
wouldn't spend it. I just wouldn't spend it. I'm like, I can click past an ad.
Yeah, that's me.
Yes.
I'm more frugal than that. I'll deal with the ad.
Remember, folks, when you go to Tessie Switch, that you use Ben's coupon code. It's in the chat. It is in the description of all his videos. It's on his channel, but it is site wide, so you can save some good money over there. Make sure that you do that. Well, we're going to wrap up here in 5 minutes, but I'm dropping in Music Therapy Laz's live stream with Michael B. That is coming up in 5 minutes. And Michael B. on Laz's Music Therapy show is always a good show, so make sure you go over there and check that out.
Well, Charles, I'd like to say something for you. Thank you for your service with the military, first and foremost.
Oh, thank you.
For the ones that are out there watching that don't support all these channels, maybe just catch 1 or 2 shows here and there, or just happen to stumble up on this one, I encourage you to become a part of this community. It's a great place to hang, and people become very friendly, and you get to meet new people, and it's a phenomenal atmosphere as far as I'm concerned.
It is. It's a really great atmosphere here, and I'm hoping that my guitar skills come along very soon, because I would like to get involved with the Guitars for Vets program.
Right?
And because they go ahead, that program teaches vets how to play as a way to deal with PTSD and all that kind of stuff. And they go through the program, and they end up with a Yamaha acoustic that they get to keep, which is really great. And so I want to get involved in that. I need to find some time, and I want to get involved in that. And but I need to bring my playing skills around a little bit more before I can do that.
It's a never-ending process, but I love it. I love it.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on, and
I thank you.
We all love the community too. I'm so sorry, but I want to thank you for coming on. It's been a thrill for me, the relationship you and I have had since you've come onto YouTube, and be able to go back and forth. And you included me on a lot of stuff backstage before it came out, and so that was a thrill for me, because I've loved what you've been doing, and so keep on keeping on with it, buddy.
Well, brother, I thank you for this opportunity, because, I consider myself one of the low men on the pole. I'm having fun and I see progress, but I'm one of the low men on the totem pole.
Hey, Charles. It is getting there. So I want to welcome Charles Green. Sir, I need you to clear some time and schedule off your schedule. I'd love to have you on an episode of Chatting with Charles. And I would love to do that right out sometime after we deliver your guitar to you. So, excellent.
Bring a Warrant story to the table, or Skid Row.
You want a Warrant story or Skid Row, huh? And the interesting thing, Ryan says that they are increasing that. They're increasing that price on premium. You were talking about that a few minutes ago.
Everything is, yes.
All right, folks. Well, we've come pretty much to the end of our time, and I want to get you the opportunity to go ahead and get set up. And thank you for all the nice comments and the interactions in the chat today. Herb, thank you again for coming on. It's been a thrill for me, and I could really do this all afternoon. And I might not let you go out of the green room.
Thank you so much.
But folks, go over and check out Laz. And what we're going to go ahead and we're going to sit there, and we're going to see you again next week. And as always, enjoy your guitar journey. Thank you for being part of ours. Cheers, folks.